Why would someone as popular as she is alienate? And I'm not saying, it's going to be, people are going to hate her, but why alienate your fans, the Swifties? They come across from every political ideology. Why put yourself in one area? And then the other mistake is that Biden is assuming that if she gets involved in this election, and she did support Joe Biden in 2020, so it's not unusual for her to get involved in politics. And you're right with the Marsha Blackburn. Marsha Blackburn kicked that guy's butt. But again, that's Tennessee. And, but with the young vote, a new poll shows that 18% of voters are more likely to back a Taylor Swift endorsed candidate. But listen to this. 17% are less likely to vote for someone she chooses. So they cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So don't get involved. Don't get involved in politics. We don't want to see you there. But Joe Biden's in the hole with young people. He knows it. And if he thinks Taylor can get him out of that hole, he's going to go for it.
It all started like nearly every other conservative discussion about celebrities and athletes that advocate for politicians that they support. Don't get involved. You're only here for us to escape from our problems. Shut up and dribble. You're going to lose all your fans. Just please. But when Jesse Waters gets his hands on the idea that Democrats want to utilize influential people to vote, it turns into panicked madness.
I mean, I like her music. She's all right. But, have you ever wondered why or how she blew up like this? Well, around 4 years ago, the Pentagon Psychological Operations Unit floated turning Taylor Swift into an asset during a NATO meeting. What kind of asset? A PSYOP for combating online misinformation. Listen.
You came in here wanting to understand how you just go out there and counter an information operation. Well, the idea is that social influence can help encourage or promote behavior change, so potentially as like a peaceful information operation. I include Taylor Swift in here because she's she's a fairly influential online person. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Yeah, that's real. The Pentagon PSYOP unit pitched NATO on turning Taylor Swift into an asset for combating misinformation online. So is Swift a front for a covert political agenda? Primetime obviously has no evidence. If we did, we'd share it. But we're curious because the pop star who endorsed Biden is urging millions of her followers to vote.
That was a weird way of pitching the most regular political thing ever, of using a popular figure in society that happens to agree with your stances and agenda to pitch it to their fans. Republicans do it all the time with the Dilbert guy, John Voight, James Woods, Roseanne, Dean Cain, Caitlyn Jenner, Stacey Dash, and Ted Nugent. So with a list like that, I can understand why Fox News is afraid of someone that might actually be likable.
Jesse, the deployment of a PSYOP in the United States in this day and age is still illegal. The national security law prohibits the deployment of PSYOPs or using an operative for psychological warfare. However, if I was running Biden's management perception team, I would identify someone who would align themselves with my agenda, such as a Taylor Swift, who has close to 600 million followers. I would target her, I would engage her, and I would get her to do what we used to see as like public service announcements. And that type of enlistment, that type of solicitation is analogous to the old days of deployment of a PSYOP. And so in modern times, with these people having such influence and such, immeasurable amount of followers, she can potentially single-handedly swing voters. So the answer is yes, Jesse.
Yeah, because when she posted the link to the vote.org, it's like hundreds of thousands of young Taylor Swift fans all of a sudden registered to vote.
They openly said that they're afraid of Taylor Swift because she got hundreds of thousands of people to register to vote, and Democrats might utilize her to help fight disinformation online. I don't think they realize that they're aligning themselves with misinformation and advocating for fewer Americans to vote. Sounds like a party whose policies don't match up well with the vast majority of Americans.
She has sent out tweets before supporting Joe Biden, so they're not necessarily barking up the wrong tree here. That could happen.
Yeah, she endorsed him in 2020. She definitely doesn't look wishy-washy, but actually it's funny. You and I, before we started this segment, we both said that we were cheering for the opposite team, the Ravens, to beat out the Chiefs, just because we have had enough of Taylor Swift for now. It is so scary. There was a recent poll. 1/5 of Taylor Swift fans said they would back whichever candidate that she endorsed. let's be honest, a lot of her fan base are 15-year-old girls who can't vote anyways. A lot of the others are already liberal women who would support the DNC no matter what. But there's a lot of other people who need to be careful.
In order to attack the idea of Swift openly supporting and advocating for whoever she wants to, she has to be portrayed as a psyop created in the White House lab that Biden built on his first day in office. But if she's got more people out to vote, why aren't they confident in their platform that opposes women's rights while protecting hate, division, and white supremacy to convince those new folks to vote their way? Maybe because what this pop singer has said about her stances is what the majority of Americans agree with, and they need to find any way possible to avoid talking about it.
The other thing, just from a security standpoint, Taylor Swift comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that. I'm sad that I didn't 2 years ago, but I can't change that. I'm saying right now that this is something that I know is right, and you guys, I need to be on the right side of history. And if he doesn't win, then at least I tried. It really is a big deal. She votes against fair pay for women. She votes against the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, which is just basically protecting us from domestic abuse and stalking. She thinks that if you're a gay couple, or even if you look like a gay couple, you should be allowed to be kicked out of a restaurant. It's really basic human rights, and it's right and wrong at this point. And I can't see another commercial and see her disguising these policies behind the words Tennessee Christian values. Those aren't Tennessee Christian values. I live in Tennessee. I am Christian. That's not what we stand for.